So did you think you was having a mad moment then, eh, when I quickly popped up for all of a second? So behind the camera today we've got Maria. John is actually travelling down the motorway as we speak because he's got a big meeting in London tomorrow. So it's just me and Maria, and Maria was setting up the Facebook Live, press play, and I told her she had buttercream all over her fingers, so ding, delete. So if you think you did see us, you did. So anyhow, she's all clean and tidy now. So it's just me and Maria in the kitchen today, and I thought, well, I've not been here for a few weeks, not doing any work, that is. I have been entertaining some fabulous guests, and haven't we done so well? We've had some great people along. We've had Louise Brimlow did the drip cake. We've had Lindsay McIver who came and did a Viennese whirls. So, are they called whirls or swirls? I don't know, but they were delicious anyhow. Then we've had Karen Davies here, Christina Ludlam, Kerry Griffiths was here last week. All fantastic people who've given up their time and come and spent it here in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen to show you how to do things. So I am really, really pleased that you've joined in with us every Monday night. We've got lots of other guests as well. I think it's going to be me for a couple of... No, sorry, we've got Gwen Powell coming next week. So Gwen is going to be here next week. Now it's going to be fantastic talking to Gwen because she's brought to market a fabulous gun that you are all going to be so excited about. And it's not a gun, it's a gun for the, I can never say it, is it degrees, whatever they're called, I don't know, those little silver pearly ball things. Well, she's got a fabulous gun to get those put onto a cake very, very quickly, and we're very excited about her being here. She's also bringing along Kim Firth, who is a Cake International winner as well. She's actually fantastic at what she does, so she's going to give you lots of hints and tips about sugar paste, how to use your sugar paste, how to roll your sugar paste, talk about elephant skin, and best of all, she's going to use this DK gun, that's what it's called. And Gwen's going to talk about patents because, as you know, I'm always going on about patents and design rights and everything else, and I'll be talking about that again tonight. So that's Gwen next week. The week after we've got the lovely Wendy Preston. Now Wendy Preston is a Facebook follower, just like Lindsay. She comes along, watches us. If she doesn't get here on a Monday night, she watches us on a YouTube, and I've invited Wendy along to our kitchen because she's always making something fabulous to see what she can do with either Nifty Nozzles or sugar and crumb flavoured icing sugars. And then Bank Holiday Monday, I've got Jackie and Rob back. Now they're going to do a duo, which is fantastic, and Rob is going to make an egg custard. I don't know any of you who love egg custards, but I adore egg custards. So to make a really nice homemade one, we're really looking forward to Rob coming here. And Jackie, she's not going to forgive me, I can't remember what she's going to make. So if Jackie is up, come on Jackie, tell us what you're going to make. I've got a complete mental blank here, I can't remember. And then the 4th of September, I can't remember if it's me on the 4th of September, so it's Jackie and Rob Bank Holiday Monday, okay? And we'll have an audience here that night as well because my brother and sister-in-law are here for the week. So they'll be in the audience as well, which is fantastic. Look at me, get me, audience. So they'll be here as well. I can't remember who's here on the 4th of September, so it could be me, but on the, I don't know, the next day after the 4th, if you've got the calendar, we've got Richard from Wright's Baking coming along. So he's going to be showing you all about the baking mixes, and we will have those on sale, okay? So they'll be here. And then I've got a whole calendar full right through September, October and November. So there's lots of people who are coming along, and I'll be squeezing myself in the middle of some of those sessions. So make sure you're here every Monday night. As you know, we give up our time free in the kitchen. And for any of you who are new to Sugar and Crumbs Kitchen, yes, I do wear my hair down. So I wear my hair down and I do touch it, and but you know, nothing here is actually going on sale for anybody. If anybody wants to eat these products, it's usually the staff in the office or friends if they're popping in. Somebody will say, oh, I'll have it, but they're people who do know me and do know my cleanliness. So let me just talk to you about the sale as well. So Sugar and Crumbs has been holding a sale of the icing sugars. It's been going fantastically well. In fact, so fantastically well, John's going to keep it on for another week. And he may extend that. We was hoping the Great British Bake Off was going to kick off sort of now, and that's why I sort of released the sale early, so that you all got your sugars in and, you know, followed the Great British Bake Off, but it's not here yet, so he's running it for another week. I did see a little pop-up on Channel 4 last night saying it's coming soon, so I'm quite excited about that. So let's just talk about the icing sugars a moment. Okay, so just do you a quickie over here. So the icing sugars are normally £3.49 each, okay, and we've got them on offer with £1 off at £2.49. There's about 36 delicious flavours, and those of you who've never used the icing sugars, they're not just for making buttercreams. You can use them in any recipe that requires sugar. So if you want to make macarons, pavlovas, cheesecakes, if you want to make fudge, if you want to make, I don't know, biscuits, we make shortbread biscuits, marshmallows with it. Lindsay McIver is now the marshmallow queen. I thought our Laura was the marshmallow queen, but Lindsay has been outstandingly fabulous. So I just put this little bundle here because we do lots of 5 bundles as well. So these are £3.49 down to £2.49. We also do lots of bundles of 5s, okay. Now they are a select 5 and unfortunately you can't swap them. People do message in and say, can I swap this one for this one? And if you message in, that's up to you, but I can't guarantee we're going to swap because the boys in the warehouse are running around like lunatics. And sometimes they miss it in the delivery options. So I really don't want you to swap. You know, if you want to try it, please do. And if we can, we will. But there's no guarantee you'll get that swap. Now, a lot of you don't know that we do the big bags. Now, these big bags are great for you home bakers. We do a 2.5 kilo bag and we do a 5 kilo bag. Now, these are great for the home bakers who want to buy in bulk. Then I think this one's about £27.95 down to £22, and this one I can't remember, I think it's £14.95 down to £11. We do these in the top 15 flavours, so there's only 15 flavours that we do those in, okay. We've got the piping bags back in, the 100 size, so 100 disposables are back in. And I put the eyes there because I think we might use those to there. Cling film's there because we're going to use the cling film. And then let's just have a little chat about what we're going to do tonight. So I thought tonight, well actually my plan was to do something hairy. But unfortunately I had to go into work at 6 AM this morning and I was hoping that I was going to leave for about 9 o'clock to come back here and prepare myself. Unfortunately I didn't actually leave work till 5 o'clock. Mad dashing here at 5:45 and it's been manic setting ourselves up, and poor John's been in since 6 o'clock this morning. He's got home at 6:30 and now he's on the motorway down to London. So I thought, right, you know what, I said to John this afternoon, I'm not going to get home, so let's go back to basics with the genuine Russian piping tips. So I'm going to talk about all the nozzles that I think you should have in a set. Okay, you don't have to have them, these are my suggestions. So we're going to go through them one at a time and we'll talk about other things. And I'm hoping that Maria's got such better eyesight than us that she can actually shout out some questions to us as well, so I can see them. And I've also put up a little, let me just see here, what's the code, Maria? Is it my code?
Yes.
Right, can't think what the code is.
28 0 Oh.
No, it's only 4 digits on here. So wait a minute, Maria's now filming the oven. So 60. Oh.
Wait.
Right, okay, let Maria do that for me, because then I might be able to help Maria out. At the moment, she's now been filming the oven, maybe my chest. So do bear with us. So have we gone live here? Let me just see. Yeah, there we are. So I'm hoping that I can catch up there with you. Let me just put that on. Yeah, so there we are. So hopefully I might have a little peep at some questions. So there's a few people there. So Geraldine Kisbet, hello Geraldine. We've got Trish Cooper, who was in hospital the other week going down for surgery, saying a few hellos, dragging her surgeon with her. Hello Shelma, hello Joanna. Who else have we got here? Lindsay's here. Hi Kat. So yeah, quite a few of you, so that's good. So oh, hello Pam. Now Pam did tell me how to say her name. So I'm not even going to try because I need to read it again. So but it's Pam Kerakek. I don't know. But anyhow, hello Pam. So anyhow, I am pleased that you've joined us on the school holidays. So what I thought I would do is that I'm just going to show you a few nozzles that I think you should try. Now, one of the things that I always do think, when you're a novice and you're using the nozzles, rather than make a load of cakes and get yourself stressed out with them, you know, because they don't work or whatever, then what I would say is get yourself some rich tea biscuits. Don't get a digestive, just get yourself some rich tea biscuits and play with these. And make yourself some plain buttercream, because what you can do is you can scrape it all off afterwards, put it back in the bowl, and then when you're ready to play again, play again. Or if you're from here, you know what, we all love the biscuits with the buttercream on, so we just save them. So one of the things that I do like you to all invest in is these two tips. Now we use a range of Wilton tips. These are not Nifty Nozzles, they're Wilton, but they are on the Nifty Nozzles page. So I like to use the Wilton 10 and the Wilton 5 round. You can buy them individually or you can buy them as a pair. I do a little discount if you buy them as a pair. So if you go onto our website, Sugar and Crumbs, so it's www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk, and then look for Nifty Nozzles, and then you'll see all the tips that I'm going to use tonight. So I don't know whether, do you want to zoom in a little bit closer, Maria? So it does take a little bit longer because we do go a bit blurred. So can you still see?
Yes.
Are we up?
But this is.
Am I on a delay? So, okay, so what I'm going to do is, so if you see me kneeling down in front of you, okay, so these berries are really good. So I'm just going to do them on this little biscuit here. So let me just put some buttercream on. So this is just going to be for berries, okay. And these are great for finishing off your cupcakes and just doing your little infills. So I do advise, so what we do is we just do little clusters of balls. Yeah. So you can just see, so all I'm doing there is I'm just squeezing a nice little ball. You can do them at different sizes if you want to. And you'll see all these come together later, not on this biscuit because this biscuit is just an experiment. So this is just to show you. And so like I said before, get yourself some biscuits and play with these. Yeah, so we'll just make some balls. I'm going to make some bigger ones and some little ones. And then all we're going to do is we're going to use the 5. Okay, you don't need a lot of buttercream in these. And we're going to use the 5 and we're just going to push down on the top. And we're going to infill. Now I'm using the pink tonight. Sometimes I use white, sometimes I use purple. And all you're going to do is just push the little bit that you've pulled off with and push it inside. And then fill your berry up with a bit of pink. Okay, and I'm just going to show you my cupcake that I did a few weeks ago. So I've got loads of old cakes in this house. They're all cakes that I do here and then I leave them here because I don't like throwing them away really. So just a few little berries. So that's not the best demonstration, but that's just to show you, you know, one of the things that you do need. But I'll just show you on this cupcake here why berries are important. Okay, so if you look here, so I'm got a delay on my computer here. So I can't see yet what you can see. So can you see these little berries where I've infilled them there? That's exactly why I say get yourself some little berries. Yeah? So we're going to do those. And so that's just 2 nozzles and they're the Wilton round 5 and 10. And as I say, they're on the website. They're a great investment. They're Wilton, they're a quality brand. You know, don't be buying any of that Chinese rubbish. Buy quality all the time. And Wilton is quality. Okay? So that's those 2, and we're going to come back to those later. Then get my other little biscuit out. So just so you can see. So another little infill to use. Okay, so if Maria comes back here, so another little infill flour that we can use. So if you don't want to use berries or if you want to use a mixture of berries, then use this Wilton 224. Now when you buy the Wilton 224, okay, I can't show you in here now, but you'll see there's a little pointy bit on the top there. Yep. So have you got me in the camera there, Maria? Because I can't see it. Yes. Yep, there you go. So it's really funny watching myself at this 30-second delay. So I can't really show you very well, but you'll see like a little prong sticking out. And when you look inside, there's this little wire. That is meant to be there. It's not a damaged nozzle. So again, this is for infilling when you're using the Russian flower tips. So this just gives a dainty little flower. Look at that, how pretty that is. So when you are making your flowers on your cupcakes and then you have these little gaps, you could use one of these for filling in, or you could use your berries and a couple of these as well. And I use these a lot on the big cake. So I do classes here in Stockport. They're £99 for the day. It's a fabulous day, and you go home with 24 cupcakes, and you go home with a big dome cake or a big cake. And these are all the things that I show you. That looks quite pretty just on its own, doesn't it? Quite like that, do you think? But those are just your little infill flowers. So that's that one. So let's put those there. And then we have the leaf saga, okay? So the leaf is this one here, okay? And so many of you do some really funny leaves. So this is the leaf, again, this is the Wilton 352. So I am running behind, but I can see some lovely love hearts and likes, which I'm really pleased about. So the reason I'm going through all this again is because I know all of you watch, and so many of you do ask me again and again. So we're going to do the leaf one, okay? So this way is the wrong way. So if ever you're holding your piping bag and this V shape is in that position, that is the wrong way, okay? You need to turn it in that position, right? So I'm going to get my rich cheap biscuit again. So I'm just going to put a little bit of buttercream on my biscuit. And here we go again. So you'll see that there's a hint of pink in here. This pink probably won't come through yet, but I love adding a little bit of colour to my leaves. So what I've done is I put green on the outside and pink in the middle, but it won't come through yet. We're probably going to see that in a little while because I'm just doing some little sample ones. So this Wilton leaf does plenty of size leaves. So all you do is, I don't know if Maria can see it there, but I'm going to squeeze to the base. And I'm going to stop and I'm going to pull off. You must stop. So I squeezed to the base there, okay, and then I pulled up to make a little body, and then when I wanted to finish it, I just stopped squeezing. So I stopped squeezing in the centre, and then I pulled off, and that's what gave the point. So let's do that again. So we're going to do a little base, little body, and we're going to pull off. So that's a tiny little leaf. And then we're going to make it bigger. So we're going to have a bigger base, bigger body, and we're going to pull off. Bigger base, bigger body, stop squeezing, pull off. There's the baby one. Stop squeezing, pull off. So can you see that, everybody? So let's make a really big one. Let's go for it, shall we? So nice big base, nice big centre, stop squeezing, pull off. Look how cool they are. Okay, so let me show you how many of you do these things wrong. So I'll just get the biscuit again. So I put yellow buttercream in just so that you can see. So lots of you guys do this. So how many of you do that? Never seen leaves like that, but that's what a lot of you do. How many of you do that one? It's brilliant, that one, isn't it? I see them all the time. And then I see them. Who does these? Come on. Own up. I know you're out there. Own up. These are fab. Okay, so these are how not to do a leaf. Okay, and then I even see these. Yeah, and then I see these even in my class when I'm teaching. I'm there with the ladies. If there's anybody who's been on my class and they're watching, so there, see, I can see them doing that. Yeah. Those are all wrong. So let's go back and show you again. So Maria, what was the code again for this?
2802.
Okay, good. So let me get another biscuit so we can just go through that again. So who's owning up to it? Have we got many owning up, Maria? Because the camera, the Facebook went off. My iPad went off. So is there many people owning up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. So let's just go through this again. Yeah. So for a little one, so you're going to do a little base, stop squeezing, pull off. Little base, stop squeezing, pull off. Little base, stop squeezing, pull off. Then I'm going to go a bit bigger, stop squeezing, pull off. Bit bigger, stop squeezing, pull off. Base to the centre, stop squeezing, pull off. And then we're going to do a nice big one. Pull off. Yeah. So have we got that? So who thinks that they can do leaves now? So Maria, someone asking a question.
They are losing their contact.
They are losing the contact. Oh no.
Okay, it's back.
It's back. Okay then. So I don't know. Okay, hopefully you're back. And you can see it. So there you go. So I've just done those leaves again for you. So if we talk about what nozzles I really think you should buy with your sets, okay, you want the Wilton 5 round, the Wilton 10 round, the Wilton 224 drop flower leaf, okay, drop flower petal, and you want the 352. So there's a few more to go at yet. So let's go over here. So how are we doing? How many have we got in the audience tonight? So we've got watching currently at the moment between 120 or up to 132. So let's see how we go. So there we go, got it back. Reset, Carol, Maria, and you're back. Right, well, we're back. I don't know what's going on tonight, but anyhow, you know what? Anything you miss, you know that you can do on catch up later. Okay, not on catch up, you can watch it on YouTube later. So let's see what other Wilton tips that we've got here. Okay, so we've got this tip here. Now this is the Wilton 1M. Now this is a fabulous tip, okay, so this is if you want to do your rose swirls. So I'm going to do this on a biscuit to show you how to practice first. But what we're going to do is we're going to two-tone it, okay? So if Maria wants to come over here, we can two-tone, yeah? So I'm 30 seconds behind. I think you lot might be 30 seconds behind as well. So let me just go over here, Maria, and let's do a bit of two-toning. So when we're two-toning, what colour shall we go for? Right. So I'm going to use this lovely lime colour. So let's put that all around the edge, okay? Now there's several ways you can two-tone. You can paint your bag with food colouring, if you like, or you can do a thin coat of buttercream like this, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do this, and I think we'll have this lovely red colour in the centre. So we've done a thin coat, and we're just going to put this lovely red colour in the centre, and then I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do a rose swirl. Yeah, so there we go. And by the way, I only use the small piping bags, okay? I like using the small piping bags. Let's see what other bags I've got in here. I don't really like using, I don't like using those, okay? I think when you're a professional baker, sorry, you can see how wide I cut this for a nozzle, but I think when you're a professional baker and you've got a massive big cake and then you can tie your bag and throw it over your elbow, you know what, use these big bags. But otherwise, I would use the small bags all the time, because all that's going to happen is you're going to cut it off anyhow, and then you've just paid for all that to go in the bin. So as I say, I stock the small bags. I do a small bag and I do a medium bag, but on our website I call it small and large. But those are the two sizes that I think you should do. These I think are for the more professional who know how to use a big piping bag, but personally I wouldn't use those. So let's get a cake. Now you don't need to crumb coat your cake when you're using the Wilton 1M. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the rose swirl. Okay, I'm going to use this a few different ways. So first of all, we're going to start off in the centre and we're going to make our rose swirl. These are nicer on a flat top cake. I don't know if I've got a flat top, let's see. Yeah, that'll do. So this is about as flat top as we're going to get tonight, okay? So you go straight into the centre and you hold it up at 90 degrees and you're going to go round and round, squeeze it nicely all the time, and you're going to finish it off there. So what do we think? Yeah? Do we like that? So I don't know where I'm up to, but when I'm watching this on Facebook, I think that I'm just watching the piping bag at the moment. Is that what you can see? So I can see where I left. So when we've made this, then I'm going to get my Wilton 352. So that's the lovely rose colour. And then what I'm going to do then is I'm actually just going to pop a nice leaf in it there, just to finish that rose off. So how simple is that? Would anybody like me to do that again? So Catherine, I love the 2D Wilton. So Catherine loves the 2D Wilton. Catherine, the 2D Wilton is exactly the same as the 1M Wilton, except that you've got rounder edges and these are much more sharp. So Christina loves much smaller, much easier to use and prevent the buttercream becoming soft in warm hands. Fantastic, yes, that's right. So anyhow, so I think we all like that. Sarah, I buy my bags from China, £100 for £2. I have large and small. Sarah, you know what, I've used those Chinese bags, and if I'm really honest, I did start selling them at first, but I don't like them, if I'm honest. I find that they slip and they break very easily. So Kim Caulfield here, she's going to be with us next week with Gwen. Lindsay Pearson, I'm sorry I'm late. No worries, Lindsay, you're here now. So Sue Powell, did you say you are using the small bag? Yes, Sue, I am using the small bag. And Caroline's with us today, fantastic. So great, so I'm just going to pop that there, okay? So would you like me to do that again? I'm just wondering. So let's see, yeah, Diane, can I see that again, please? Yeah, good, good. So it looks like you'll want to see that one again.
Yes.
Okay. So just so that people are not confused, there we go. So are we ready? Are we in position, Ray? Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit the nozzle. Okay, so this is the 1M Wilton. It works exactly the same as the 2D Wilton, but I like the 1M Wilton because I think it gives a sharper edge. So we're just going to squeeze it. So we're going to squeeze, and I'm going to try and turn it that way actually so that you can see it. So I don't know, do you want to see it? Because I was going to see if they could move my hand around, watch my cake. Yeah. So shall I... Which is the best way for you to see it? Should I turn this way, Maria? Because you've got to remember, I'm going to go round, so I want them to see my hand action.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to get, so I'm having to do this like this, which is a bit of a strange way of doing this. But you just overlap. I think I probably overlapped a little bit too much. And then we're going to pop in a nice leaf there. And pop in a nice leaf. In fact, we'll go for 2 leaves, just make it a bit different. So I did that in a bit of a strange action, so I've got to be honest, I'm going to try that one again because I'm going to have to do it so that Maria's looking down on me instead. So let's go and do another cake. So I've done plenty of cakes tonight, so don't worry. So I'm just going to do this again now. So I'm just going to do it this way because I think it's better. So you're going to hold the nozzle up straight, okay? And you're going to go round and round and round and round. There we are. And then when you get to the end, we're going to put in this lovely leaf. So you can put in 1 or you can put in 2. Yeah? So I think it's better that way, doing it that way, isn't it? Because when I was trying to do that funny angle, it came out a little bit too much. So do we all like that, everyone? So Tiffany's joined us. Tracy Atkinson, yes please. Sarah, yeah, but I put my but they are good on small projects. I go through loads when I'm doing a rainbow cake, fair enough. Yeah, there you go. So what colours are in the two-tone roses? So the colours that I've used in the two-tone roses, just so that you know, I've used this lovely lime colour, okay, and this is the Colour Splash Lime. So as you can see, it's almost the same. Yeah, so I've used the Colour Splash Lime, and I've used the red. Okay, now it's not a bright red, I have to say, but it's the red. And these are the gels. You know that I'm a fan of the gels. So I've used the red and the lime for that two-tone rose. Yeah? So there we go. And I can just put those away. Okay. So let's go back to this rose now, and let's see if I've got enough buttercream in here to do an ice cream swirl.
We have more than 1,000.
Have we? Fantastic, good. Okay then, so when we're doing an ice cream swirl, okay, what we're going to do is, we're going to do a nice little blob in the middle, yeah? So that's what you do to start your ice cream swirl. And then you're going to start here on the outside, and you're going to go round, round, and I can just get enough out of here, okay? And then, so I've got my bowl here, and the good thing about having a bowl is you can catch all your hundreds and thousands. So we're just going to sprinkle a few of them on. And if ever you want to put hundreds and thousands on, always put them on the cake as soon as you squeeze the buttercream. If you let them set, okay, so if you squeeze, let's say you do 2, 3 of those, by the time you come back, the buttercream will be hard and your hundreds and thousands won't stay on. So we're going to put it in that bowl because we're going to take it out the bowl. I've got buttercream in there. I'm going to take it out of the bowl, and anything that's over, we're going to put back in there. Yeah? So are we all happy with the 1M, Wilton? Does anybody want to see it again? Colour Splash are great, lovely bundles. You've got Fairy Garden, yes we have. Caroline, Carol coated the bag in one colour so it creates the outer space, yeah, okay.
How much?
Somebody says, how much gel did you put in? Right, Catherine, how much gel did I put in? Dion Kitchen, hello Dion. There's a pal of mine. So anyhow, so how much gel did I put in? Catherine, it really isn't to you. For the lime, I sort of gave it a good drop or two, and for the red, I really did give it a good drop of red. And I've got to be honest, it was this red, and I tried to put more and more and more in, and it actually didn't go any redder than that. So let's move those over now. So I'm just going to move these out the way, out of Maria's way, so she doesn't get her elbows in them after. So we now understand how to do the leaves, and we can go back to these later. And then if anybody is watching, these is how not to do leaves, okay? So let's get those out the way. So we've got those, let's put those cupcakes there. So, yeah. Get those out the way. Okay, so what other Wilton tip do I think you should have? Okay, are we back, Maria? Yeah. Right, everyone, come back and join us. It was all going so good till I got the iPad off Maria. This is what happens when John's not here. So hopefully you're going to be back. So I'm going to start waving for you. So we was doing well. We had 1,000 viewers. So we're going to start building them all up again. So come on back. Hello, hello. So hello Selma. Hey, yes, I know. Hello Rob. Sorry about that. That was me. So we're back. Hello Wendy. So I'm just showing you what we've been doing here. So anybody who wasn't with it, we need John tonight. Selma, we do need John tonight, okay? So, so I'm glad you're all back. So anybody who's new, Sarah back again, woohoo, yes we are. So there's the culprit, there she is. So there's Maria who's filming, can you see me in the mirror? There I am. So Maria was filming and I just wanted a lovely boyfriend to see who's responsible. So let's go back to this then. So let me turn this round. I'm going to turn it around that way, Maria. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the Wilton 104 piping tip, okay? So this is another Wilton one. The reason I'm telling you about the Wiltons, I really think you should invest in them. So we're going to do a rose, okay? And I'm going to two-tone this nozzle, okay? So let me get one of the rose nozzles out that I've already pre-done. So here we go. So I've got Ruby tonight. So I think it's Ruby, yeah, it's the 111 Nifty Nozzle Ruby, okay? So we've got that one and the 104. So let's see what colour we'll do the Ruby. Okay, and you know what, let's go for something, let's go for this lovely jade green colour. So I'm just going to use this jade green colour. Should I use that? Or should I use the lemon? Oh, don't know. Don't normally get a jade green rose, would you? I suppose. Let me see. No, let's go for this. Oh, can't make my mind up. No, let's go for something vibrant. Let's do this lovely jade green. So what we're going to do is, this is the Nifty Nozzle 111. And if I remember right, she's called Ruby. Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of buttercream in there. So that's fairly simple, that one, okay? But what we do want to do is the Wilton 104. So with the Wilton 104, you can see that there's a bulbous end and a thin end. Can you see it that way? And you'll also see that I put it in the piping bag so that this edge of the piping bag is up this way. If you have it underneath, it starts to affect your frill. Your frill, okay? So let's put it up there, out the way. And then there's another reason why I'm going to say put it up there, because you can follow that line of what I'm going to do next. So let me get a big spatula, okay? So I'm going to get the big spatula and Maria's going to come back over it again. So let's get this in, okay? And then I'm going to stick that in there and we're just going to press that to the top of the bag. So you can see what I've done in a minute. So you can see that I've pressed that on that line. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. And then you're going to ask why I've got a half piping bag. So what I'm going to do there is, so you can see what I've done, where that nozzle is there, and that's where I've put the colour, and then this side I'm going to fill with white. So have we got our audience back, Maria? After yes. I was messing around with them? Right. So hopefully they will be. Anyhow, it was nice to have a little break.
We have 200.
Pardon?
200?
Yeah, I'll come back, don't worry. So John will never be given the sack now. We'll never give Carol the iPad. So this is all you lot wanting to see John, and every week I want to try and get that iPad off him so you can get a flash of John. But I don't think I'll be doing it again. That was my practice on Maria. So you can see now, I've got blue there, white there. So let's squeeze this down. And then if you come back over here, Maria. So you can see now, okay, that we've got blue up that line, okay, which is the thin line. And then we've got white under it. It doesn't matter if you've got a bit of blue, so don't worry about that. And we've got blue on our rose here, okay? So let's get another little cupcake. Now it's always good if you dome your cupcakes. So let me just get a little bit of buttercream. And you must buttercream each one individually. So we're just going to put a little thin coating all the way round. So, is everybody back who was here before, Maria? I've stopped looking at my iPad.
The problem is that it has a screen.
It has what?
A screen, because I'm by this side. No.
Right, okay. Well, I don't understand that, but can you get everything in?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to use the Nifty Nozzles. Now with every single Nifty Nozzle, it's exactly the same process, okay? So you must sit the nozzle onto the cake. Let go. If you're not sure if it's sat on the nozzle, on the cake, let go of your bag. So what we're going to do, we're going to squeeze, form a base, stop squeezing and pull off, okay? So we'll go back and do that one again in a minute. But the thing I wanted to do is to show you how to use this. So because I've just put that in now, I'm just going to quickly get it running. So let me show you on a biscuit. So I'm just going to show you on a biscuit here what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to run the colour out. So can you see? I'm actually showing you how to make ruffles now. How cool is that? Hey? So that's running the colour out so I can get it to the thickness of the blue that I want, which is there. Yeah? Right. So Maria, so what we're going to do is we're going to do half a semicircle. Doesn't have to be neat. And just watch this rose grow. So in your half a semicircle, when you do your next one, you go halfway in again. Okay, so you do a semicircle and then you start the next semicircle in the first one. So we're just going to do that again. Quite like this jade colour. Yeah. See how it's forming together? So that's a small rose, and then we're going to go round again. Okay, so it's the thick end at the bottom. If you're not sure what to do, the thick end at the bottom, always remember a flower. If you pull the petals off a flower, the thick end is always at the bottom, thin end at the top. So we're just going to keep building this up. I'm going to go around twice, and there we go again. So there we are, yeah. Then I'm going to lie the nozzle down, yeah, and we are going to go in. I'm going to squeeze, and we're going to come up. We're going to go in, we're going to squeeze, and pull up. If you get any scraggly edges, don't worry, just tuck them in. Going to squeeze, and we're going to pull up. So what's the feedback like, Maria?
Good.
You liking it?
Yes.
And then the last one, you come in over the top of your first petal. So what do we think of that? I have to say, I'm well chuffed with that jade. So, anybody wants to know what colour that was? That was this Colour Splash Jade, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I thought it was a bit of a funny colour to do the rose, but I think it looks fab. What do you think? Yeah? Did they all like it? Maria, you're as bad as John at responding. So, okay then, so what we're going to do here now, so we've got the back of the cupcake. So we're going to put in some more roses. So we're going to squeeze. And we're going to get 3 roses on. Yeah? And then do you remember when I said about your infills? So we're going to put some little berries on. And I like doing my berries in odd numbers. I'm going to get the number 5. So do you see how this all pulls together when I say to you about why you need some other nozzles? So make sure you invest in those Wiltons. They're all on our website. They're the best quality you can buy. Wilton's been going a long time. So there we go, we've got our berries on, which is what I showed you earlier. Yeah? And then we're going to put a couple of leaves on. So here we go. So I'm just going to decide where to put my leaf. So I've got a bit of a gap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in. I'm going to squeeze, 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 and give myself a nice big leaf. Yeah. And then I think I might just put in a couple in there. and a couple in there. And there's my cupcake bouquet. Now, if anybody wants to buy all those nozzles as a set, on the website, which is Sugar and Crumbs, which is www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk, I do a cupcake bundle. There's a rose 2 bundle, which means that you get the rose, and it's any one of the roses. They are random which ones you get, and you get the 104. There's a rose 3 bundle, which means you get the rose, the 104 petal and the leaf. And then there's the cupcake bundle. I think it's about £7.50, I'm not sure, but it's not very much anyhow. But you get the whole set, what I'm asking you to invest in here, in that bundle for £7 something. So, and you could make that. So who would like to see that again? So I'm just waiting for a response from Maria now, because she's doing a John. So she's doing a John, and that's the cupcake bundle. Okay, so it's called the Cupcake Bouquet. So it's not a bouquet of flowers, it's the Cupcake Bouquet. So I'm just going to knock my leaf back up there because he's just drooping a bit. So let's just push him on so that he sticks up there.
What color green do you use for the leaf?
I use the green leaf tonight. I always use variations of green, so tonight I've used leaf. I do love using the pistachio green. I like that one. I like just the green. I'm not a big fan of the forest green. I prefer that on the Christmas cakes. So what we've made here is the Cupcake Bouquet, which is exactly like this. This is the one that I did in violet. See, this is the forest green here. It's a bit darker. It's not my most favourite green, that. Okay, and I've done that forest green lighter. A lot of people do it, so it's really, really dark. So that's the Cupcake Bouquet that I did a few weeks ago. Okay, and in that bundle, I think it's about £7.50 for the whole bundle. You do get a rose nozzle in there, okay, but it can be any one of the rose. It can be a beauty, it can be a ruby, or it may be, I can't think what the other, romance rose it could be in that set. So it's 9 o'clock now. Mad dash, get hubby to make a brew. You lot nip to the loo. 9:05, we're going to start again. Yeah? Thumbs up? See you then. Right, so we're live again. We're going to start this audience again. So I think me and Maria is going to be sacked for the camera. So we're back again. So this part 3, I hope you've all managed to go in there, nip to the loo, get yourself a cup of tea quickly. So I didn't get a cup of tea, but I nipped to the loo. So somebody asked before, would I do this rose again? So let's go back, Fanny, while we get our audience back. Because Maria's going mad here because we had a great audience in part 1. It's gone quieter in part 2. So what we did earlier is we did use the Wilton 1M, okay, to make the rose swirls. We did the ice cream swirl, and then I just showed you some other tips. So, you know, use the Wilton round 5 and 10, okay, for your berries, which you need on these cakes here. Yeah, and then we've got the little infill flower, the 224. And then I showed you to make different leaves with the 352, okay? So this means all from one nozzle you can make these different size leaves. And these are how not to make leaves. And quite a lot of you owned up to owning some of these ones, okay? And then this one here was, we just made a quick frill with the Wilton 104, which I'm using for my rose nozzle. And then we made this rose cupcake bouquet. And somebody has asked, can I just make one for the centre of one cake? Okay, so here we go again. So we've got the centre of our cake, and if Maria's, are you okay there? Yeah, is that okay? So what we're going to do is, so you put a little bit of buttercream on, and then you sit the nozzle on top of the cake. You squeeze, form a base, pull up, and you're off. Okay, so it's very important when you're using the nozzles to use a little bit of buttercream round the cake, okay, and then decorate straight away. My buttercream's quite soft tonight, so it hasn't dried out too quickly. And then you must squeeze the nozzle, sit the nozzle onto the top of the cake and squeeze it and pull up about 1 centimetre. When you get to the desired height, stop squeezing and pull off, okay? And then I showed you how to fill up the Wilton 104. So thick end at the bottom, thin end at the top. And then so that you keep your thin end, keep it in line with the seam of the piping bag. And in the centre of the seam of the piping bag, put your first layer of colour, yeah? And then fill it with a back colour. I like to use white, but you could use a pink or a yellow. So somebody's asked me, can I just do 1 rose on this cake? So that we're watching, we're going to do half a semicircle.
What
so
nozzle did you use?
This nozzle here was the Ruby, and it's the Nifty Nozzle Ruby. Caroline might correct me actually, because it's the 111, and I'm sure it's called Ruby. Yeah, is that what she's saying, Caroline? Is it correct? Yes. Okay, so we've just done half a semicircle here, okay? And in that half a semicircle, halfway in, we're going to do another one. So can you see how I've done half a semicircle and then I've started my next one there. These semicircles do not have to be neat, okay? There's lots of professional hobby bakers out there who insist on having them absolutely pristine and neat. But I think if you have them pristine and neat, the cake looks too perfect, and it's too perfect a rose. I like these roses here, which I don't know whether Maria can see that one. So I like these roses here. I think they're a lot more realistic, okay? Okay, so let's go back to here again. So I'm just going to go back to this one, and I'm so loving this jade colour. Do you know, it was a fluke really, because I wasn't sure what colour to do, and I'm not a fan of purple. So we've gone round once, so you could keep that as a small rose if you wanted to, but we're going to go round again, and all you're doing is you're just building up, and you're going to watch this rose grow right in front of you, okay? So we've been round twice, and then I'm going to lie it down, and you lie it down and you pull up, you lie it down and you pull up, and you tuck in, you lie it down and you pull up, tucking in all the time, lie it down, pull up, and then the very last one you go in and you bring it round on top of this one. And there you go. So the lady who asked to have just 1 rose on the cupcake, that's what we've done there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a leaf there. And I'm going to put in 2 leaves. So what do we think of that, guys? Do we like that? Who can do them? Now, I've been showing you lot all how to do these for months now. I've been doing Facebook Live since the 13th of January, every single week. I've only missed 2 weeks, which is when I went on holiday, but every Monday I'm here, either with a guest audience or myself, showing you how to use the genuine Russian piping tips. So we'll have a little bit more of a talk about what's the difference between the genuine ones and I can't say fake, but what I will say is infringing copies, okay? So these are Nifty Nozzles. So there's 2 roses, so that's a flat rose on the cake, and there's the Cupcake Bouquet. That Cupcake Bouquet with a whole set there is about £7.50, I think it is. And then you can buy this one here as a free set on the website. If you go on there, www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk, you can buy rose 2 nozzles, which means you get the rose and a 104, okay? Or you can buy the rose 3 nozzles, which means you get a rose nozzle, the 104, and a leaf nozzle, which is the 352. Or you can buy the cupcake one, which means that you get the added berries as well. So they're great. Okay, in those bundles you get a rose nozzle, but it could be a beauty, it could be a romance rose, or it could be a ruby that I'm using here, but it doesn't matter which one you get, they're all beautiful. So those are in those sets, yeah, and they're quite reasonable. So let's see what else we're going to use then. So we've used those, Does anybody want to ask me anything, Maria?
No.
No? Okay then. So let me just talk to you about Russian piping tips. Okay. What is the thing about Russian piping tips? So some of you have heard this before. So let me just talk to Maria, if you want to just come over here. So Russian piping tips, okay. The original inventor of the Russian piping tips is Alexander Lebedev, and he is in Moscow in Russia, and he is the original designer, okay. So when he first started doing the nozzles, I'm just going to come over here and show you a few things, because the people who bought the nozzles off me way back in November 2015, when I brought them to the show for the first time, I was selling the nozzles way before then, but when I brought them to the Cake International show, this is the type of nozzles that we were selling. So if you, I will bring them over to Maria. So if any of you have got these were the original, okay. Now these are massive, yeah. And what you'll see is that these were all handmade, okay. So they had a barrel on the outside, and then the tops were soldered in. And these are the original ones, and these have had no signage on them, or they had WST at a later date. So these are 4 examples of what I've got here, okay. So anybody who's got those were the very first Russian piping tips. And then everything was going swimmingly well until the Chinese started copying us. So the Chinese then brought out copies, and this is what they came out with, okay? They're not great quality, they're rubbish if I'm really honest, okay? So some of you do say you don't know how to use the nozzles, and that's because the cuts on these are not that great, okay? And those are the smaller nozzles. And then we then went to a different type of manufacturing then, and we went to these. So this is the type of nozzle that we do now, and this is an all-in-one nozzle, and this is what we're using today currently. So these are an all-in-one nozzle, and they're made on the machinery, on one machine now, and you will see on the side that we've got Tulip Russian, okay, so it says Tulip. That doesn't mean that this flower is a tulip. That is the name of Alexander's company. So where he used to be WST, Workshop Tulip, he's now just named himself Tulip. And then on the other side, we have Nifty Nozzles, and we've got the number of the nozzle, okay, and Nifty Nozzles. So none of these nozzles actually have the name of the flower on, they just have the number on, and you can refer to our website. So then I want to talk to you about patents so that you understand about them, and then I'm going to go back to show you all these wonderful nozzles. So when Gwen comes next week, Gwen will be talking to you about patents as well. So one of the things I do want you to think about is, if you came up with a cracking idea and you invested everything you've got into that idea to show somebody to sell, and you do everything the right way, you bring it to market, you test it out, you know what, and it's a winner, which is what Alexander did, and then we realised that people were copying them, and you have 1 year's grace to test your product. So your product can be tested 1 year. After 1 year, if you don't do anything with it, it's free to anyone to copy, okay? But what Alexandra and I did is we patented the nozzles. So when we patented them, that means that we protected them, we've protected our designs, we've protected our investment, and therefore anybody who is not selling a Nifty Nozzle is selling you a Chinese copy. And that means it could be made of poor quality steel. I'm not saying they all are. It means that the laser cuts are maybe not so good. It might mean you get this little small nozzle, okay, but little small nozzle, you'll find that the cuts on these are not so clever. So look at these cups, you know, when you're buying the proper ones. And it's these big ones that I'm using now, not the ones with the solders now, but that I'm using the big nozzles, okay? So, and it's all about protecting your design. And that's all I want you guys to think about. And I really do want to thank lots of you customers, because so many of you support me and Alexander in our investment. We've done everything the right way. We've spent a fortune on design rights. We've put everything through the Eurofins for safety, okay, so that our steel is tested and everything is a good quality. We're registered here in the UK. On our website you can find our contact details. We keep in touch with our customers all the time. When you buy from a Chinese seller, you will never know who you're buying for. Okay, you go to their contact page and you post a message and you don't know who it is, you don't know where they're from and whatever. But what you will see is you'll see lots of sellers selling our copies, and some of them even pass themselves off as a Nifty Nozzle, or they say they're the same as Nifty Nozzles or whatever, but there isn't. Nifty Nozzles is sold by Sugar and Crumbs, and if you ever want to know, just ask me and I'll always tell you. But the best way to do is go on these websites and tell them that they're infringing our copies and watch them ban you, because that's what they do. So you need to ask yourself, why do these people block me and all the other Facebook users who question them about nozzles? I've had about 6 ladies this week who've tried to defend me and Alexander, and they've been immediately banned from the website. So that really shows what horrible characters these people are. So, and then the Chinese now, because I've been fighting so many and I've been kicking so many people off eBay and Amazon, and I'm actually going to start in America soon, but I have been very successful in Europe getting rid of everybody. What the Chinese done now is that they've tweaked the nozzles. What they haven't realised is, or they've tried to be clever, is that they have tweaked them only very slightly, and therefore it's still infringing. And I can prove that basically it doesn't make any difference to the design. So now they've gone completely bonkers, and I just want to show you some of the crazy bonkers designs that I want you to understand, because they look good when you see them. And I'm going to show you now the new Chinese designs. I'm going to show them you, but they don't really work, and I'll explain to you why. So if Maria comes over here now, okay, so these nozzles are the Chinese designs, okay, and you'll see that they don't even get them central onto the nozzle. They start rolling over the sides when they're printing them. And look at this one. Okay, they're just basically printed any design onto steel. Let me tell you now, that looks pretty there, but that's basically impossible for that buttercream to be that defined to come out of there. So you'll see that pretty flower there, but you won't get it, okay? And this is because the Chinese are just trying to do anything to convince you guys to buy them, but you won't get those designs. Those little tiny little holes, I don't know if Maria can see them, they're so tiny, they're only the size of a pit of a needle, okay? The buttercream can't stand up, it won't define itself. So if you see any of this rubbish, just ignore it, because they are complete rubbish. We're the first one who brought out all the designs. Alexander designed the first ones, Laura designed the second ones, and we've got a whole load more that have all been tried and tested. All this is the Chinese just trying to make the nozzles a little bit different. And you can see the slits on there. It's actually impossible. So if you want to buy them, fine, but don't ask me why they don't work, because I've just told you why they don't work, because it's impossible to actually get the designs like that. Then another thing I want to show you, these are Laura's designs. You all know my daughter Laura. She's made a whole load of designs, but she's made these for Christmas. And you guys who were at Cake International in November 16, you were the first ones to be able to buy these, okay? These are the genuine ones. What's so upsetting with the Chinese now and on other websites, they've actually taken our images and images of our cakes and selling these nozzles, okay? I don't know what quality they are, but the images that they're actually professing to sell you is our actual image, okay? Even the cake, everything. I've had so many customers come back to me and say, Carol, I've just seen your nozzles on there, even your cake. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'd really like you all as a team to support Laura and I and Alexander and protect our business about copy sellers. people say, there's a lady who's had a row with a company this week, and she said, well, if you can afford to pay expensive, then that's up to you, but not everybody can. But what I will tell you is I am a British tax-paying citizen. So everything comes in, I have to pay customs. Everything that goes out, I have to pay VAT on. I have to pay tax. I have to pay duties. I'm not like China. I can't be just sending in a bag and writing on it sample and not paying anything. This has to come through the proper retail way of selling products. Okay, and therefore that's why there is a price. And the other reason there's a price is, and it's more importantly, is that you're buying quality. You're buying the correct steel with the correct design from the correct people who actually design these nozzles. So like I say, I'm not that keen on showing all our nozzles because the Chinese are just copying them so far. But I am on the fight and I'm not going to let it go. So another example is, and I've showed you this before, okay, so these are the genuine Russian nozzles. So when Alexander was trying to bring these designs together, he made a whole load of these different ones and he kept sending them to me to sample and try. And this is the Oriental Ruffle, and some work, some don't work, and eventually we settled on this one, and we now use this one. Those are the ones that we settled on, and the others we disbanded. But when we were putting these out, we actually put them on the website, and I said to Alexander, oh, don't put them on, the Chinese will copy them. And he said, oh, let them copy them, they don't work anyhow. So what do we get? We get these. So now I see you guys buying these in bundles of 15, and then you come back to me and you go, Carol, they don't work. There's actually a very well-known company, and I'm not going to shout out the name. It's a well-known company and respected, and I have spoke to them, and I think it's shocking that they're selling copies of these, okay? So if any of you have got them and wondered why they don't work, well, you need to go back to them and ask them. But what they're doing is they're telling you to twist them. So do a dance like this, twist them around. They will tell you it'll have a hole in the middle and you need to fill them with hundreds and thousands. Absolute load of rubbish. The reason they're telling you that is because they don't work and they need you to put something together. And to be fair, you should voice your opinions to that company. I know there's a lady watching tonight and she's challenged them already, but they are infringing our copies, okay? They're shocking, they're in all the cake shops, and it's disgusting of them really, and they're fully aware of my feelings. So I'm not going to shout out myself, but let me tell you now, I am dealing with it. So personally, see them, if you've got them, put them in the bin, they're a waste of time. There's only one that you want, and that's that one there, okay? So that's me and my little rant about Chinese copies. And if any of you have any care or think about yourself, if you've invented something or your family member had invented something, how would you feel if your designs were stolen? Because that's basically what these people do. So that's my little carry on now. So let's get back to the genuine Nifty Nozzle and my happy smiley face. So I'm just going to, got loads here to show you. Okay, so the big nozzles, all right? So this is the Chinese trying to copy our nozzle, okay? So we've got this one. So they decided to do that one. Quite a load of rubbish really, not much detail. But because they thought that they made it different, they thought that, you know, it was different. But you know, they've got all these little dots in here that actually won't stand up and hold. Needs to be something more solid. All our nozzles are all tried and tested. So let's do this one. It's called the Sun Dancer. And I've actually got it over here. So I did it on this cupcake here. And you all loved it. So if Maria's got it there, yeah. So I'm going to make this in a different colour tonight. And I'm quite liking the lime green. So let's just show you how I triple tone this. So if we come back here, Maria. So I'm going to do this in the lime green, okay? So we're going to triple tone this. So we're going to put the lime green there. Let's go for some wacky colours. So you just go all the way round. And again, you only need the small piping bag for these really big nozzles, and they are big. And I've got loads of new things coming to you guys that I'm going to release in November at the cake show. If you're good, I might release them at Cake and Bake, but at the moment, all the new stuff's coming out in November for the Cake and Bake. So let's put this purple colour in. So we're going to put a thin coat of the purple there, all the way around. I'll triple coat this. So let me just have a look. So there you go. So that's your second colour. And then I'm going to put a nice big blob of the orange in. I don't know what this is going to come out looking like, but it's just to show you how I triple tone. So we're going to triple tone this way, and then we're going to do it by the cling film method. Yeah. Now these big nozzles work exactly the same as the small nozzles. Yeah. When I say the small nozzles, the large. So these are called the XL. So let's get a cupcake. Let's put some buttercream on. So remember, always put your buttercream on fresh. So John will be going mad at me and Maria tomorrow when he speaks to us and see all this mucking around with Facebook Live. But you know what, guys? That's what Facebook Live is all about, isn't it? So I've just squeezed it now back into the bowl just to get the colour. So what we're going to do is we're going to go onto the cupcake, squeeze 1 centimetre, and we're off. Can you see that? I'm going to squeeze onto the cupcake and we're off. Squeeze and we're off. And we're in there and we're off. And I'm just going to squeeze one in the middle of there. Actually, I quite like that. What do you think of that? Do you like that? I quite like those colours, isn't it? You know what? It's worth it to go a bit crazy. So let's get our...
How do you manage to keep your bag open when you are filling them?
Okay, so how I filled the bag. Some people put it onto a cup, so I'll get a cup. Okay, so how I fill it, I actually hold it over my hand like that. And I prefer to use it that way. But I know some people struggle. So if you want to, just get yourself a plastic cup. Put it inside. Pull it all the way down. Pull it all the way down so it's nice and straight. And then fill that way if that's easier for you. Yeah? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to finish this one. So remember the berries, so I'm going to put some berries on because the berries really help finish it off, pulls it all together. So how's our audience doing, Maria? Are we winning? Yeah. Okay. So I've cocked it up tonight, but you know what, that's how it goes, isn't it? But I'm sure they'll all be zooming in to watch us tomorrow. So we're just going to fill in the berries like I showed you before. Helps pull it together. So who's learning anything tonight? Are you all enjoying it? So Maria is a bit like John, she doesn't speak to me either.
Because they decided like
Because she's waiting, but she's got the delay as well. So we're just going to bring the leaf nozzle in now, okay? So what I'm going to do with the leaf, I'm just going to put a couple of little leaves just at the top there. Yeah. And then I'm just going to put some bigger ones there. So squeeze them into the flower. Squeeze them into the flower. Squeeze it into the flower. And there we go. What do we think?
brilliant.
Brilliant? Who said brilliant? Was that you, Maria?
Angie Moore.
Pardon?
Angie Moore.
Andy Moore? Fantastic. So I'm glad you like it. Isn't that a beautiful nozzle? So that's a genuine Russian nozzle, and I don't see those Chinese bunch of crap.
What is the nozzle?
It's called the Sun Dancer Cup. There's the Sun Dancer and there's the Sun Dancer Cup, and that's the Sun Dancer Cup. The Sun Dancer is open at the top. So, shall we do a ruffle? Shall we do a Mrs. Whippy? Let's do a Mrs. Whippy. Got loads of buttercream tonight, so let's do the Mrs. Whippy. So again, I'm going to hold my bag like this, and then we'll come back and we'll do the triple tone. So I am going to, let's see, let's do this jade colour again, because I love this jade colour.
They love it.
They love it too. So let's do this jade. I'm going to do this jade a little bit thinner colour. So see how I'm holding the bag over my hand, okay? So I'm just going to do it a bit of a thinner colour. And this is going to be for the Mrs. Whippy. Now the reason we called it Mrs. Whippy is because it comes out like an ice cream. Yeah. So I'm going to triple cut, in fact, do you know what, I'm just going to, no, I will triple colour this. In fact, I don't know how to triple colour, I'll do it one colour. Let's do it with the yellow. So let's get the yellow. Let's just put two colours in. We can do some triple colours after. So let's put the yellow in there. Now this is called Mrs. Whippy. We've got two Mrs. Whippies. We've got the extra large Mrs. Whippy, which is this one, and we've got the mini Mrs. Whippy as well. So these are great on big cakes as well, if you want those lovely swirls. So, and they're better on a flat top cake as well. Okay, so let me just go and find a flattish cake. I might have to do it on a biscuit. So if we just watch this then, so we've got the mini, then we've got the Mrs. Whippy large. So are you okay then, Maria? Can you see everything? And we're just going to sit it on top. We don't need any buttercream. So we're just going to sit it on top. Now watch what happens here, okay? So you sit it on top. Can you see that? Don't do it up here. Sit it on top. And then we're just going to, I'm going to do this as slow as I can. So we're just going to gently squeeze. I'm going to let those ruffles come out. And as they come out, probably not too many out, as they come out, build it up to however height you want it. Stop squeezing and twist off. And there's your Mrs. Whippy. Now you can put a flake in there, you can put a marshmallow, you can put a Malteser, whatever you want, okay? Now I probably left that a little bit too long, so I'm just going to do it again for you, okay? So sit on the top. I think what I did is I left it a little bit too long squeezing. So we're going to squeeze, and as you're squeezing, you just gently pull out and you twist off. And there we go. And that's your Mrs. Whippy. And if you've got a nice big flake in there, it's absolutely lovely. So we'll use the Mrs. Whippy. Do we like that one?
Yes.
Yeah? The kids love that one, it's great. And as I say, it's called Mrs. Whippy because it's after an ice cream. So I know Catherine would like to use this one. This one's a sharp one, this one. This is called the Velvet Tulip. Okay, so it's got sharp edges. So watch this when you put it in the bag, because when you're sliding it into the bag, if you slide it in sideways, you can catch the bag and make little holes. But I know Catherine, who was watching earlier, was using this nozzle and she was having trouble with it. So let's do a couple of these. So I'm just going to do this in a pink. And don't worry, I haven't forgot the cling film method either. Yes. We'll get there. Are they asking about the cling film method? Right. Remind me, Maria. Next nozzle, cling film. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we've done that coat there. And what we'll do is we'll put this orange in the centre. And always squeeze your bag down, okay? Now that, normally I would fill that up a little bit more, but you want a really nice big handful. So let's get the cupcake. Let's put a little bit of buttercream on it. I'm so glad John's driving down the motorway. If he's watching this now, me and you are going to be in big trouble, aren't we, Maria? Hey? And I hope you lot who are watching stick up for us and tell us you thought it was funny. Or he won't be leaving me and Maria alone again. Or not me alone again. So, let's get here. So this is the Velvet Tulip. And every single nozzle goes on exactly the same way. So we're going to squeeze, form a base, up and off. And that gives you little stamens inside. So do you see what I mean about those stamens there? Okay. So the stamens are the central holes, okay? You need them to have some substance because they've got to be able to stand up on your own. So when you get little twitty things like that, they're just never going to stay up, yeah? So we're going to go all the way around, forming a base. So you form a base, so watch what I did, onto the cake, form a base, up and off, onto the cake, up and off. Now, I remember I showed you the 224 drop flour nozzle. So what I'm going to do with this one is, I'm going to use this as my little infill flour nozzle here. I'm going to put a few there, put them around every other one. So, yep. And then let's get the leaf nozzle. Oh dear, what have I done with that leaf nozzle now? Oh, there it is. So because I put the little drop one in every other one, I'm going to put a leaf there, a leaf there, and then a leaf there. And then I just might add a little one there, every other one. And there you go. So even these big nozzles, okay, we've got on there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 around the sides, 7 in the middle. And the giant nozzles, the extra large, we've got 5 on a cupcake. Yeah, do we like them?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So what else can I show you now? So cling film, that's what you want, isn't it? So we've got loads more. I want to do the string ones with you in a minute. So cutting your bag. Okay, so I left one nozzle out without a cut on the bag, okay? So one of the quickest ways I found, because so many of you cut the bag, don't cut your bag so it ends up halfway or up here, okay? Try and get it as near to the tip as you can. So again, I'm right-handed, so I need to turn this round. So you see this seam here, if you're not sure, okay? So just cut it there, so that you can see that it cuts in line with the nozzle. Do you know one of these Chinese companies, what they did last week? Our Laura was actually going mental, okay? And he's a Thai guy, and it's Premium Select for You. So he's got Laura's nozzles on here, yeah, with our cakes on. And then not only that, somebody says, have you got a video? And he actually shows the video of me using these nozzles. Now, how cheeky is that? Eh? So if you see that Premium Select, I can't say anything because he's blocked me and banned me. But they've all blocked me and banned me. But that's how dirty tricks that they do. That he even used my video, my hands on it, everything. You can see my nails on it. Laura was going bonkers last week. So, so we've got that little cut there. So it's a long way up the bag. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's where you're going to cut, and you're just going to cut straight away. This is how cheeky they are, these companies, and this is why I need your support, guys. So in here, we're going to put the marigold, and then can you see how he just drops into there? See it? It's just a little bit bigger there. Yeah. Right, and then we're going to do the cling film method. So let's get the cling film out. tell you, I sleep, eat and breathe design rights at the moment. So you do your cling film, so you get yourself a nice square. I think that's a square, yeah. Now I had a lady in class make this the other week. 3 of the ladies made it quite sensible, and then we had a lady who was really greedy, and she made hers large. Don't make it large, because as Shirley Ann found out, by making it large, she couldn't fit it in the piping bag afterwards. So what we'll do is we will use this lovely colour here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this colour here. So it's got a bit of jade on from when I had it in there before. So we're just going to make a nice square, spread it out. So this is called the cling film method. And if anybody's just joined us, this is definitely to do with cake decoration. So any other thoughts that have gone through your mind, you're on the wrong channel. So cling film method. Yeah, so you just make it up into a nice square. I've probably taken it a little bit too big. Yeah, so we've got that colour. And then we'll put this lovely red on. So we're just going to put that on. And you just take it to your colour. Just leave yourself a little gap. So how many of you guys are big fans of ours? How many of you, I know lots of you do support me, and we do really appreciate it. Alexandra really appreciates it as well. So put your thumbs up. How many of you are Nifty Nozzles converts with the genuine ones? How are we doing, Maria?
Nice.
Is it nice? Are they all fans? Don't be buying anything else.
Yes.
There's people here who are selling copies, and I do accept that some shopkeepers are not aware that they're selling copies. But you know what? It'll do you no harm to tell you. If you have bought a copy, okay, if you have bought a copy, you can take it back. So don't be scared of going back to your shopkeeper and take your infringing copy back, and they have to give you your money back. If you've bought your infringing copy off Amazon or eBay, or you paid through PayPal, you can get your money back. And so many of you ladies have done that. You've proved it, you've done it, and you know what? I'll always treat you as a nice thank you. If you do that and you come and buy the genuine one off me, all those ladies have always popped them in a couple of extra nozzles as a thank you for doing it. You know what? Stand your ground and let's stick with it. So let's move these out of the way so you can see what we're doing.
We are back.
We're back.
Well,
oh, are we? Right, fantastic. So this is the cling film method. So John's going to be happy now because the viewers are back. So we're just going to roll this over. Yeah, so you roll it over till you hit there. Yeah, and then we're just going to rub the side down. Yeah. Who uses the cling film method already? Because I have shown you all this before. And then you just roll it over, and you see that seam there. So how many have you used it? I know quite a few of you tell me that you use it after seeing it the last time I did it on Facebook Live. And then you twist it round just like a sausage. Yeah. Now, one of the big mistakes I've made, because I was trying to get so much buttercream in, okay, I cut the end there. And then what happened was it wouldn't come through the nozzle. And that's because when I cut the end there, the cling film actually blocked up here. So it's really important that you go across and you cut it off properly. You can pop that back into your bowl, so you don't need to waste it. You know what I mean? Just squeeze it back, pop it back into this red one, so you don't waste your buttercream. I always keep a damp cloth at the side of me for cleaning my nozzles. So we've got a nice wide gap here, yeah? And then we're going to drop that into the bag, squeeze, And now we're going to start to squeeze. So let me get this orange bowl here a minute. We're going to start to squeeze so that we can see that it's coming out, and we've checked that it's all coming out there, which it is, so that there's no cling film blocking it. And then let's get another cupcake. So are you all enjoying it tonight? Have you all learned much? Am I teaching you everything?
Yes.
So I've got Maria who whispers like John. And here was me thinking I was going to have Maria on my side tonight, speaking out loud, shouting out all the comments. If you've noticed, I've given up with my iPad because it was running behind that much that I couldn't concentrate.
They are so happy because we have more than 3,000.
Ah, great. The audience has come back. Right, okay then. So what we're going to do then, this is Marigold. So this is the extra large. So we squeeze up 1 centimetre, squeeze up 1 centimetre, squeeze. You can go as big as you want. So let me show you something here. So see this one here, I've come up a little bit taller and you can actually see the whole image. This one here, I did a bit more shorter and it's a little bit blurred together. Have you got that? So I'll just turn it around. So this one I did shorter and he's a bit mushed up, so I'm going to knock him off. See how this one's taller? You can see it. So this is where you need to invest in one of these things. They're great, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop that off. I'm going to stick it in our bowl out the way. And we're going to go squeeze here. I'm going to come off long. I'm going to go into the centre, squeeze. And I've done the same again there, he's a bit short. So don't ever worry about breaking them off. This pointy spatula, I sell these on the website as well. So let's dig it all off. Don't think you've ruined your cake because you haven't. If you're clever, you can scoop it all off. Yeah. So let's go back in. Yeah, and then we'll get the berries back on. Let's put a few little berries in. Maria and I are going to be scared tomorrow what John's going to say. We're so glad he's travelling down the motorway. We're both in work at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. I've been in work since 6 this morning, mainly because I thought I'd run into work, do some stock check, and then come home and get ready for Facebook Live because I really wanted to do some hairy cakes for you. And just a little idea that come into my mind. And now I ended up, as I say, being in work till 5:30 tonight, come running in here at 6:30, rushing around like a mad woman. I said to John this afternoon, John, it's just going to have to go back to basics with Nifty Nozzles. So I do hope you've enjoyed it, going right the way back to basics. These are all the things I've taught you before. So what I've done is I've done my little berries. So I'm just going to put in a couple of these little drop flowers as well. Because I was that tired, I didn't have time to think about anything. But I think it's gone all right tonight. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. Still got a few more things to show you yet. So how are they liking it, Maria? Is it good?
They love it.
They love it. That's what we like. I was getting a bit jealous, you know, over the last few weeks, you know, with having all these people on visiting in the Sugar and Crumbs kitchen. And you were telling them all how marvellous they were. I was feeling a bit neglected. So hopefully I'm getting all the loves and likes that they were getting. So there you go. So that's the Marigold, and that's the extra large nozzle that we put on there, and we filled it up. I know some of the colours are a little bit wacky, but I just wanted to show you how to use the cling fill method with 3 colours. We put the leaf on, we put some berries on, we put some flower drops on, and I hope you like those. Let's do a couple of more leaves in there.
What are the name of all nozzles that you use for that?
For this one. Okay, so what I've used here, I've used the Marigold extra large, and I've got to be honest, I can't, let's have a look at the number. It's the 210 XL Marigold. okay? So it's the 210 XL Nifty Nozzle, and it's called Marigold. And as you can tell, don't be scared when you get one of these big boys. You can still put 5 on a cupcake. And by the way, when you're doing your cupcakes, just put them in the oven a little bit longer, a little bit on a higher heat, so that they cook a bit faster and you get that dome effect. If you're doing perfect cupcakes, we like to cook them on like 160 so that they come out lovely and flat. But for Nifty Nozzles, so 160 is perfect for the rose nozzle over there, using the rose swirl, and those were Wilton nozzles. But for Nifty Nozzles, I always think it's nice to get that dome effect, or that little volcano effect on your nozzle, on your cupcake. So those of you who have been struggling to get a flat cupcake, you know what, you're a winner now, because all those bakers are going to be wanting to do so that they're peaking a little bit. So turn your oven on a little bit higher, get your cupcake to cook a bit faster and get that little explosive bit, and then that'll give you a bit more height as well, which looks really good. But as you can see, you know, we've done it on a flat one there. This was a flat one. Yeah, right then. So what else would you like? Oh, I know, I was going to use the grass nozzle. That's what I was going to do. So I've done a few nozzles tonight. So we've got the fine grass nozzle here. So I'm going to use this one. And I was thinking, I don't know whether my idea will come out, but let's give it a go. Yeah. So let's fill this up with the, how should we fill this up? We'll fill it up with this lime green. So I'll put a flower in there before, mix it in. So this is fine grass, this one. I haven't got the large grass nozzle in stock at the moment, but I do like this fine grass one. Okay, so let's get this one. So my idea that came in mind was, do you know those troll dolls that we used to all have when we were kids? If you're my age. Well, not when I was a kid, actually, when I had children myself. And they've all come back into fashion again. So I was thinking of trying to build the hair up on one so that we could do some little trolls. But anyhow, let's see how it goes. Let's get rid of that. So I've never done this before. I did want to have a little play with it. And I was thinking to maybe make the cupcakes without cupcake cases. It's too late, I've already done them now. So let's, this is a decent one. So let's start here. Just do a little bit of buttercream round. So just a thin coat all the way around. Yeah, I've eaten so badly today, being in work, not had to take in any food with me. Sean, the coffee man, turned up. I bought crisp and cakes and everything because I hate sandwiches off the butty man, unless I know that they're freshly made. So I end up buying myself a right load of rubbish. So let's see if we can do this then. So what I was thinking, I don't know what this is going to look like. Okay, so what I was thinking is doing this. So this may come out, okay, it may come out rather rubbish, let's see. I don't know, I don't think I'm liking it at the moment. I think we'll just keep it still to grass. It's quite a big cupcake, isn't it? I don't know, it doesn't look like a troll to me. I think it just looks like a load of buttercream. I think I might have to knock it off and start again. And then I was going to get my eyes. Let's see what we got here. Sell these are great. So I was going to get my eyes then. But I think this is rubbish. So I think I need a bit more practice with this one. But this is what happens when you go live on the night. There's my eyes to my troll. So we'll forget him. You're laughing, Maria. You know what? I think I need more practice. We'll forget that one.
I'm not the only who is laughing.
I've got another word for it. So let's eat his eyes then. let's stick the buttercream back in there and let's do it how we should do it. So my troll idea didn't work, so it's probably a omen that I stayed at work all day.
They love you.
They love me, do they? So yeah, I'm glad somebody does.
They are laughing.
Yeah. So, well, forget that troll. I'm actually glad I didn't come home, because I'd have been devastated thinking that was my only idea for the day. Making troll cakes. I've been dreaming about them all weekend, thinking how clever I was going to be. Anyhow, it does make a really nice grass nozzle. I'm going to see this here. When you refill a bag, you get this air bubble in here, and that's the worst thing you can do, because that's going to make a right squirt in a minute. So I'll just have to hope I don't get Maria, because I'll make sure I stand out the way. So.
Rob, Adam is asking about if you have the Viennetta.
Oh, the Viennetta. I have got the Viennetta. It's ready. So the grass nozzle. It's quite nice, the grass nozzle. I even like it just as effect for flowers. I'll do the Viennetta next, Rob. I think Rob's got the mini Viennetta. So even though that's grass there, let's put in a couple of drop flowers. It's such an easy nozzle to use. So you could use it for your grass, don't use it for trolls, because they don't work. We've tried that one.
That looks better.
That looks better.
Yeah.
I know, I think I've got to agree with them. So we've decided then, no trolls. We'll just do this little grass one with the drop flower on, and that's so easy. Yeah. And if you wanted your grass to sort of flop about, then just pull your grass a bit taller and it'll flop about.
What nozzle is it?
It is the fine grass, and it's number 73. So it's 73L, okay? L means large, XL means extra large, because as you know, we don't do the baby nozzles. But do you remember when I said I've got a surprise for you for November? We have got some beautiful brand new designs coming out in November. I know those Chinese, they'll be going watching, or they can bugger off, because I'm not showing them yet. But we've got some beautiful baby nozzles coming out with some absolutely beautiful designs. And we'll have them.
Is the flower, the pink flower?
The pink flower. This is the velvet tulip, okay? So if we go through these again, so we've got the grass, we've got the velvet tulip, we've got the sun dancer, we've got the marigold, this is the Cupcake Bouquet as a set, this is the nozzles rose set as 3 nozzles, or you can buy it as 2 if you don't want the leaf nozzle. Yeah. So Viennetta. So I did have the Viennetta in the bag ready. Here she is. So let's see. So there's the Viennetta nozzle, and they've even copied those Chinese, eh? Tell you, got a lot to say to them. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to squirt. So see this one here, what we did the cling film method. Just going to pull that out, and I'm going to drop it in the Viennetta here. How good's that? Reuse it. Right, and then I need, when you're using the ruffle nozzles, yeah, what you need to do is have a flat cupcake. They're actually better on a flat cupcake, so let me get a knife a minute. So let me cut that sharp edge off there. Me and Maria have had nothing to eat, so you know what we're on. Cupcakes later. So let's just flat top that. So again, you don't need buttercream. You don't need to put a thin coat of buttercream. So you just hold the nozzle, and then, oh, look at that, got all in my bag. No. You just keep squeezing. Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't twist it off, because I'm concentrating about the bloody hole in my bag. Let me just do that again, guys. I'm not too happy with that. Let me just get this in another bag. so I don't have to mess about. I'm just going to pop this in here. So let me cut this one in. You can show them what I'm doing because you know what, they need to learn how to do this as well. So let's just stick that in there, okay? Let's knock that off and let's start again. And let's hope I've got enough buttercream to, I think I might just have enough buttercream. So we're going to squeeze, 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 up to the desired height and twist. There you go. Do we like that? Yeah. So we've got that one. So for you ladies who don't like a lot of buttercream on your cakes, because John hates a lot of buttercream on his cakes. So let's go back to this one here. Okay, so sometimes less is more. So let's go back to this one. So what you could do is, you could actually do a nice little ruffle around the outside. So to do a little ruffle around the outside, all you're going to do is just that. Yeah. And then we're just going to layer it again all the way around. Doesn't have to be neat. I'm coming to the end of my bag. And then what we'll do then is we'll use the turquoise. I did say for those who didn't like a lot of buttercream, so I think I've gone off track again. So I'm going to squeeze, we can put a rose in the middle there. So that's one idea. So let's go to the original idea. What I was going to say is for those of you who don't like a lot of buttercream on your cupcake, and I'm going to use this big nozzle as well. So let's see, what other nifty nozzle have I got? Let's use the 6-petal tulip. Some 6-petal tulip, let's put some pink on the outside. So Maria, just want to show them, I'm just going to put some pink on the outside. I'm just going to do this a nice pink and white. So again, the two-tone colours. Sometimes just really light colours and let's put in just really nice light colours is actually more attractive than the dark colours. And sometimes, you know, in that saying that you hear, less is more, well, this is what to do. So when you're doing less is more, in a couple of weeks I'm doing a wedding and I've got a big wedding cake to do, which I will show you after the wedding because it's all going to be with Nifty Nozzles. Let me just get that.
Do you have the night jasmine here?
Do I have the night jasmine here? I do. Does somebody want to see that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do a little bit of buttercream on the top. Okay. So I'm going to do a wedding in a few weeks. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do that rose that I first showed you on half the cupcakes. Then on the other half I'm going to do this because not everybody likes all the buttercream. So get that in there. So less is more. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do 3 flowers. Yeah. And then we're going to do a couple of little berries. And the buttercream, people are always asking me about the buttercream. I just use standard buttercream. So I always make a kilo, okay, so I use 500 grams of butter. Now I always use unsalted butter, but tonight I've used half salted and half unsalted, simply because, you know, we do the buttercream samples on the website. Well, John didn't realise and went and bought a load of salted butter. So, but if you use half salted and half unsalted, it takes the sweetness away. So those people who think that buttercream is too sickly or too sweet, Bearing in mind you are putting a mouthful of sugar in your mouth, but if you want it not to taste so sugary, what you can do is you can use half unsalted butter, half salted. So I've used 500 grams of butter tonight, so let's just put a couple of leaves here. So I'm only doing baby leaves. I'm just going to do a couple in there as well. And there you go, that's just a cupcake with less on. Less is more. So my simple buttercream recipe is, I'll get there in a minute, 500 grams of butter and a kilo of icing sugar. Now, if you're using the Nifty Nozzles flavoured icing sugar, I like it full strength, but I know so many of you want to dilute it, and I've used banana split tonight, and it smells of banana, this kitchen, let me tell you. It smells absolutely delicious because I've used it full strength, but it's quite a strong flavour, that one, like the raspberry ripple, like the white chocolate and raspberry, like the black cherry, the cherry bakewell. So for those, I would suggest that you dilute them. So when I said use a kilo of icing sugar, use 500 grams of one of those flavours with 500 grams of plain icing sugar, and then 500 grams of butter. So you've got 1,000 grams of icing sugar and 500 grams of butter. And as I say, I normally use unsalted, but tonight I've used 50-50. Mainly so I can get rid of all this salted butter I've got. But I will say it's taken the sweetness away, and I actually quite like it actually. So it gives it a nice little lightly salted flavour. And I suppose if you like the salty caramel flavoured butter icing sugar we can do, it makes it a little bit more saltier as well. So that's what we've done there. And all I've done is I beat the butter just by itself. And I know when people come to class, they're always surprised about how long I leave the butter beating, and I've just had it at room temperature. I put it in the mixer and I left it beating for a good 5 minutes. You know what, I went on and carried on setting up this place tonight. So I beat it until it was nearly white, no liquid, no nothing, because it's summer and the butter is naturally warm when it's left out, so it was soft enough. And then I added in the icing sugar, folded it in. Don't turn the mixer on straight away like Maria did earlier, so you get a nice puff of icing sugar everywhere. She did that with the cake mix, sorry, not with the icing sugar, so she's got flour everywhere. But put your icing sugar in, chop it all in with a spatula, get it all in, and then put your mixer on, and you can either put a tea towel over your mixer, or you can pulsate, keep turning your mixer on and off, but on, off, on, off, on, off, until it all goes in. Once it's all incorporated, then give it a really good beating. Now in the winter, what you need to do is you need to add some liquid to it, and that can be a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of boiling water, or you can use condensed milk, and my preferred method is condensed milk because it makes it really nice and creamy, or you can just use normal milk. Some people use cold milk, but cold milk or cold water. I wouldn't do that in the winter because I'm trying to soften it, and those of you who've been watching me from February onwards, you'll know how much trouble I've had trying to keep the buttercream from going hard in the winter, and now I've got the alternative. I'm trying to keep it hard while it's going soft in the summer, but we're having a great night tonight. I've got no problems with the buttercream. So Maria, what was the nozzle they wanted to use? Night Jasmine.
Yes.
Is that what you wanted? Right, okay, let me find the Night Jasmine. I actually thought I got the Night Jasmine out. So I'm going to show you guys 2 more nozzles, and then I think we're done, unless anybody would like anything else. So how do I store my nozzles? Okay, I store them all in a tub like this. I don't see any reason why you should go buying fancy boxes. If you go buying, can you imagine all these nozzles, all these different designs in a fancy box? You'd be struggling, wouldn't you? You'd have to have boxes and boxes and boxes, and I know some of you put all the nice little sticky labels underneath, but you know what, just stick them up like this and root through them. You'll always have your favourites, and I've now got to find the Night Jasmine. So there's the jasmine that you've got. Ooh, do you know what? Do you want me to show you how to use them? Does anybody want me to show them how to use one of those? Are they all shouting yes or no? Yeah? Okay, so you're all still with me then, you're not too bored yet. So I'm just frantically trying to find Night Jasmine at the moment. So So just give me a minute. Who asked for night jasmine, Maria?
I don't remember the name.
You don't remember? I thought I got it out earlier, but I don't know what I've done yet.
It's here, night jasmine.
Pardon?
It's here.
Where? No, that's jasmine.
Ah.
We might have to use that one in the... there it is. Night jasmine. So who asked for that?
Jackie, Tracy.
Nope. Well, no, we've got it right. Okay, so let's get the night jasmine out then.
Sarah was.
Pardon?
Sarah
as well.
Sarah Saunders.
Yeah, okay. So let's get the night jasmine. Now what I will say to you, when you see the nozzles and they've got stamens in like this, okay, if it's a whole nozzle, keep it to one colour. If you get this thing where you get an effect in the middle, do 2 or 3 colours. Again, I'm going to point out the holes, okay? So this is these Chinese nozzles with their daft designs that don't work, okay? See how these are going to make sure that these stand up. Look at that, tell me how they're going to do. I don't even think you'll get buttercream through them, okay? Look, the bonkers. So any of you who are daft enough to buy that pile of rubbish, don't moan at me when your nozzles don't work, because I'm going to tell you they're not Nifty Nozzles, they're a pile of rubbish. So let's go back to the credible ones. So we've got night jasmine and jasmine. So let's two-tone this. And what colour shall we do this? We've done a lot of jade green tonight, haven't we? So I think I'll do it in lilac. So let's get this lilac out. So I'm going to do a thin coat of lilac all the way around the outside. I haven't got much lilac left. And buttercream, ladies, a lot of you do ask how long can you store buttercream, providing you haven't used milk. If you've only used water or used nothing because your butter's been at the right temperature, and you can even do it with condensed milk. So if you've used condensed milk because that's in a tin, or you've used water or nothing, you can store your buttercream for as long as it says on the packet of butter, as long as you put it in the fridge in an airtight container. Now butter has a best before date. A best before date means that it hasn't gone out of date. Basically it means it's at its premium flavour to that date. And that's the same with our icing sugars, because so many people ask me about the icing sugars, how long are they in date for? And they're actually in date for years. Icing sugar actually never goes out of date at all. So let me just get another spoon. It never goes out of date whatsoever. So providing it's in a sealed bag, not an unsealed, providing it's in a sealed bag, or if it's unsealed, you put it into an airtight container, it'll stay lovely for years. Keep it for years, 50 years if you wanted to, because it actually never goes out of date. But the way that we've all been educated now, we've been educated to have dates on everything, and that's what the best before date is, okay? So if ever you buy something and it's got to the best before date or gone past it, there's no reason for anybody who's a shop seller to put it in a sale or anything. We don't really need to reduce the price, but we do because people don't really understand it. So any of you who's got any of our flavoured icing sugars in the cupboard, what I should say to you is get them used and buy a new packet. Keep me in business, but I'm going to tell you, you can keep them for as long as you want. So here we go. So this is night jasmine. So I'm just going to squeeze that onto the nozzle. So there's more purple coming out of this because I obviously missed a bit. That's me not lining my cake properly, my bag properly. You can see that effect there. So we'll go back to our little balls again. How many of you got Nifty Nozzles? wonder who's going to be brave enough and tell me that they bought copies. In fact, quite a lot of you ladies have told me you bought copies. And so many of you have apologised. You don't need to apologise. You know what? At the end of the day, I have to look at it you didn't know, and that's why I'm trying to educate you all about it now. So it really does sort of pull it together when you add these little embellishments to it. So let's put a couple of these in. Your berries don't have to be green and pink. You know, they could have been green and white or purple and pink berries. You could have a little red top if they wanted to, a yellow top, just whatever colour you want. I just chose pink tonight, that's all. I think on that purple cake there, I've used a white top. So we're going to go in here. So do we like this night, Jasmine? Actually really very pretty. So make sure you get all your berries. Right, and then let me get my leaf. So I'm just going to have to fill my leaf up again. I'm running out. And then for those of you who still want to stay with us, I'll actually show you how to use one of those petals. If Maria can cope. Can you cope? Can you cope staying a bit longer? Your arm's not killing me yet.
I'm done.
Right?
I'm done.
You're okay? John would be crying by now, wouldn't he? Moaning. So we're just going to put some leaves in. There we go. There we go. Couple there, couple there. Just random. Put them there, one can go there. One can go there. So what do we think of that then? How easy? Yeah? So we like that? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this last one to use one of these because these are great. So I'm going to use a bag that I've already prepared earlier. Sorry Maria, sit down. Good girl. Do you want to sit?
No.
The back gone. So that we're not wasting buttercream, this is what I'm going to do here. So does everybody like what we've made so far then? Have you all learnt something? So Maria, what I'm going to do is, you know, from the rose cup there, so all I'm going to do is, so that I don't waste it, I'm actually just going to push this into the bag and I'm going to squeeze it all out into there. Yeah, just so that we don't waste it. And then I don't have to triple tone either because I've just pushed it all out of the bag into this one. Yeah. So we're going to use this, which is one of the petals. And you need some pearls for this one as well. So let me grab some pearls, guys. Ooh. I'm going to show you around. I've got some gold pearls here. So this is the natural sprinkle range that we do. So anybody who's got any allergens, we do the 100% natural sprinkle range, free from everything. So anybody can have these. Okay, and you know I brought out Sprinklicious. Well, our Sprinklicious natural range is going into production next week. So I'm hoping to have that on the shop for you soon. So let's get another cupcake. So this is the same principle, okay, so let's get a bit of buttercream round the side here. So this is the last one I'm going to do because I'm sure you're all knackered. I know so many of you say you love Monday nights and it comes around really fast. So I hope you've been really good and stayed with me tonight. Even with all the mucking about with me and Maria. So this nozzle here, okay, don't have it that way, you need it this way. And it does take a little bit of practice, yeah? So I can't remember whether I start from the top or the bottom, but what we're going to do is, so we're going to sit it on the cake, and it's not going to be all the way on the cake. We're just going to pull it round. We're going to pull it up. And then what we're going to do then, we're going to go here. I'm going to pull over it. I'm going to left over. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to go here. Pull over. Keep pulling over. And keep pulling over. I'm going to do the last one. I'm going to keep pulling over. And basically you get this, like, I don't know what you want to call it. Do you want to call it a peony rose? I don't know what you want to call it. Something. And then just stick your balls in there.
Yeah, so what are you going to do with all these cupcakes?
What am I going to do with them? Me and Maria are going to eat them after we've had out to eat. I tell you, forgetting that diet, I bet a right load of rubbish off Sean's van today. So there you go. Aren't we, Maria? We've not had cake today, have we? So there you go. That's just one of those. Don't know whether you like it or not. Probably wasn't the best colour to use.
What is the nozzle called?
This nozzle is called, there's a whole load of them, they're called petals. Yeah. And they're called petals. And this one is the fine groove petal, and it's number 85L. I did it on a bouquet, so that bouquet ball of flowers there, I did it on one the other week, and it was lovely in orange and in pinks. But you just got to pull it round and do a little bit of work at it. So it's quite nice if you just push it in a little bit. Maybe I could have gone a bit longer. Push it in. So, I'm ready to clear up. Does anybody want to know anything else before I go?
Well, they want to repeat that one.
You want to repeat what? Do you want to repeat this one? Let me get another one out, actually. Can't believe it. You're still going, you lot. I tell you, I'm proud of you. Let me just see, I've got a load of these petal nozzles. There's loads of different ones. Don't be buying those Chinese crappy ones either. I'll tell you what, we'll use this one. What number's that? 92. Yeah, we'll use that one. They all work the same way anyhow. Okay, I've got some of the Chinese rubbishy ones here. Let me get them out. Oh, let's see. Where's those Chinese rubbishy ones gone? This is my Chinese rubbish box. So when the Chinese do them, you see that? See how these are more defined? Look at their skinny things here. Let me see if I can find. Look at that. It's rubbish for Chinese. Look. I could sit here all day showing you these. I don't know what rubbish they are. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to the genuine stuff. Forget this crap. It's after 10 now, because we're... Oh, here we go. So let's get another bag out. Open bag. So we'll do this one and put the bag. And this is one of the triple petals, this one. There's loads of these as well. They all work exactly the same principle. So remember, when you're cutting the bag, get your bag, cut it on the seam there, just there. And you can squeeze it back, you see that? And then what we can do is, we can do that. So let's see what colour we're going to do this. I think, because I'm loving this turquoise colour, this jade colour. Let's squeeze a bit of this jade in here.
Where can they buy the Nifty Nozzles?
Right, Nifty Nozzles, the genuine Nifty Nozzles, you can either buy from Alexander in Russia, okay, which is, his workshop is called Tulip Workshop, or you can buy from me. If you're in the UK, you can buy from me, which is www.sugarandcrumbs.co.uk. Yeah, and you can buy them off me. If you're abroad watching, then you need to email me. So go to my website, and there's you can email me or message me, and I'll give you my email address. In fact, I don't mind giving you my email address live, because it's not as though it's a secret now, because I've got every Chinaman in China after me. A Chinese man who kicked off Amazon last week. No, kicked off eBay actually. It took him 2 weeks to get back on after we come to an agreement for me to allow him back on. And anyway, he invited me to China, and I said I didn't think it was a good idea. I'm on the wanted list there. And he just started laughing and said he'd look after me. But I don't think I'll be going to China. I think I've got hundreds of them after me. That's if they're not on the plane after me already. Some things are on the way here to the UK, but I don't particularly care. I tell you, if I was stealing their stuff, and if I was stealing anybody else's stuff, people would have a lot to say about it. And I think it's actually shocking, because that is actually what they're doing, stealing. So let's get back. Let me get off my high horse and let's get onto this one. So I will get myself another cupcake. I'm just going to do a bit of buttercream around here, because you still need your buttercream. So I'm glad you've enjoyed it, having a bit of nifty tonight, hey? You've been having everybody else. I was feeling most lonely, thinking that's it. I've had all these guests on. So you're all loving the guest audience, by the way, that we have on. I'm really looking forward to Gwen Powell coming on. In fact, I've not had one guest who have not enjoyed having. Everybody who's come along has been absolutely fantastic. So let me give you the lineup again. So next week we've got Gwen Powell with the DK gun next week. That's about getting all those pearls onto your cake, big cake. Kim Firth is going to talk to us about sugar paste, what can go wrong and what's the best way to roll out your sugar paste. So she's going to give you lots of hints and tips. We've got Wendy Preston the week after. We've got Jackie and Rob Allen the week after. So Rob is going to be making a custard. Did Jackie tell us what she was making? Was she here tonight? Ah, pavlova. Yes, she did say that. So pavlova. So this one's exactly the same principle. Okay, so we're going to start it there. So we're going to sit it on and we're going to bring it up. Yeah, and you can see the three. And I'm just going to slightly overlap. I'm going to bring it on again. Sorry, I have to look at this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it up over. And bring it over, keep bringing it over. Keep going around bringing it over until you get to how big you want it to be, really. And then we're going to drop a couple of little pearls inside. I'll just drop 3 in there. There's my little pokey thing. Just poke that around. And get my leaf. Let's do a nice big leaf at the side of it. Don't know what type of flower you'd call that. You call it a big giant tulip, peony? What would you call it? Do we like it?
Yes.
Were they liking it? Yeah. So that one there is number. Oh, it's all covered up. Flipping heck. I don't know. It's a smooth triple anyhow. I can't see the number because it's got all buttercream all over it now. Wait a minute. There it is. Number 92. So that's got the whole old name on it. I don't know whether Maria can see. See how it used to have WST on it? Well, WST is Workshop Tulip. That was Alexander's first name, and then he went to call it Tulip. So it's Workshop Tulip 92. But if you go on our website, you'll see it's 92L, and I think it's called Smooth Triple Petals. I think that's what it's called. But it's number 92 if you want that. Right, so I think that's me and Maria done. So let's just come back to a couple of things then, because I've been harping on with myself. So if you've been buying any of those copies, remember you can send them back. If you see anybody selling copies, don't bother telling me, because you know what, I think I know every copy seller there is. But I would really appreciate it if you posted on their page that they're selling infringing copies. You will get banned, but you know what, that proves that I'm not a liar, I'm telling the truth. And please help me and Alexander protect our designs. If you had invested in something, and Gwen's going to be here next week and tell you about all the things that she's had to go through for her investment and how she wants to promote it. Karen Davies does exactly the same. Karen and Barry, they protect all theirs. They've been through the same equal heartache. So has Katie Sue, so has FM Cutters, so has Marvellous Moulds. They've all been there. We're all fighting the fight. We're all fighting to save our designs. And everybody who buys from China is buying a copy, and basically you're just buying a cheap version of our design. So please, please share it with your friends. Don't do it. Share it with any cake forums. The only genuine Russian nozzle. It's all over my website. It's got European protected designs, and that is a Nifty Nozzle. We've also got the patent pending in the US. So please don't buy those copies unless it's a genuine Nifty Nozzle. And if you're not sure, ask me, okay? But it will be all over and you'll see our packaging. I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you apart from one last request, and that's the Cake Masters Awards. The Cake Masters Awards, the link is at the top of our Facebook page. We've pinned it there. And there's 18 categories that you can vote for. So we think that we deserve 3 categories. It's a bit big-headed for us to say that, but we think that we deserve 3 categories, and we'd really love it. Get all your email addresses out, everything, and go on there and vote for us. So we want best product, and you can vote for either Nifty Nozzles or flavoured icing sugars. Do 2 votes, use 2 different emails. But Nifty Nozzles is 1, and Sugar and Crumbs flavoured icing sugars is 2. So that's best product. Best retailer, okay? You know what, I don't make everybody happy, but I like to think we make 98% of the people happy. Do we cock up? Yes, of course we do. I'm not going to sit here and tell you perfect. We do make mistakes. We are human, and we make mistakes, and I do everything I can to resolve issues. I phone people personally. I answer every single email, and if I miss an email, it really is because I've genuinely missed it, not because I've deliberately missed it. I do deal with everything, but thankfully there's only a very, very minute little proportion of problems. So what we would really like is for you to vote for us for the best retailer. John and I are going to the awards. We're really excited, and you know what, we'd be so happy to come home in November and the next day go, yay, thank you, best retailer award. And we can only get that if you vote for us. That's what we'd really like. And then the next category is best learning experience. Now, I know that we've had loads of guest audience on, but I've been here every single week. We're booked up, we've got loads of people coming on, I've got loads of things to do right up till Christmas. We do it free every single Monday night. Maria gives up her time, John does, I give up mine, even Caroline and Laura, they're on the FB Lives answering all questions. And the best learning experiences, we want you to put our Facebook Lives, because we show you so much for free. And all our people who come and help us is showing you so much as well. So you don't have to pay any subscriptions. Our YouTube channel is completely free. I'm always giving advice. There's loads of you out there that have actually personally rang and talked you through things. So please vote us for the best personal, what's it called? Learning experience. I was going to say personal experience. Well, we can. Maybe. So anyhow. So that's me done. So that's a good night from me. I don't know if there's any last minute questions Maria wants to ask. No?
No.
Are you all had enough now? What time is it? 10:30. Haven't you done well? 2.5 hours. John will be glad he's on that motorway. So thanks very much. I don't think I'll do a catch up tonight. I'll just speak to you next week. So we're back here with Gwen Powell, Kim Firth, 8 o'clock, Monday night. See you then. Bye bye.